Tank Girl. It's a movie,
Mm-hmm.
so it's got that going for it.
Lights, camera, and action. Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Remember those childhood movies you loved? We're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Let's get ready to join Anna and Jimmy as they go back and watch those movies you remember being oh so awesomely good. Horror movies that scared. Comedy movies that dared. And action movies so preposterously ludicrous that they defied the laws of common sense. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
All right. Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Today, we are going back to... Oh, shit. Where are we going back to? I think it's 95.
Yes.
We have been to 1995 quite a few times.
We have.
I'm beginning to think it was I don't know if the movies we did were good or not in 95. But we remember liking a lot of movies in 95.
Yes. 1995 was a good year. Well, sure. Why not?
Well,
good hair year for me.
Well, this movie in 1995 is Tank Girl, starring Lori Petty and Malcolm McDowell. What do you remember about Tank Girl?
I remember it having almost like a cultural chokehold on teenage girls. I remember this movie being huge with fashion, hair, makeup, and also it just being so fucking random that everybody's like, yo, this is like a fever dream. Like somebody did mushrooms and wrote this movie. Then everybody did mushrooms and acted in it. That's what I remember.
I remember liking it ish. I don't remember loving it. I remember liking Lori Petty, like Touch My Heart and Free Willy. Touch Other Parts on Me and Point Blank.
Uh-huh.
Not literally, I mean. What other movies was she in that time period? Free Willy, Point Blank. Oh, there's a couple.
She had a little bit of a rough bit. She did In the Army Now with Pauly Shore.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, actually, I remember liking that.
Apparently, she was in Point Break.
Yes,
her big thing was A League of Their Own. That was in 92.
Yeah, I remember League of Her Own.
Yeah. I'm looking now and I'm like, damn, did she do anything else?
Yeah, she was big there for the early to mid 90s. She was in quite a bit.
And then it started to just kind of go off kilter, her career.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I think she had some personal issues.
Yeah. And then she appeared out of nowhere. I was watching Orange is the New Black, and I think she just played herself in that. She was nuts. She's always struck me as someone that's just danced to her own beat of a drum, whatever was playing.
Yeah. She has definitely forged her own path and made choices that were maybe questionable to some, but seemed sound to her.
Yeah.
She's definitely a very interesting person, and I mean, in my heart, I have such a place for her.
Oh, I bet you just to sit to hang out with her and just listen to some of her stories would be awesome.
It would be so awesome.
All right, let's take a look at Tank Girl box office. Released March 31st, 1995, with a budget of $25 million, it grossed $4 million.
That hurts my heart.
Wow. It did not do well at all. Wow. Of note, it opened on the same weekend as Tommy Boy. My God, I love that movie. And while that movie opened at number 1, Tank Girl opened at number 10. It dropped to 15th place by the second weekend and was gone from most theaters after that. It did stay in a few theaters, though, and had a 39-week run.
Mm-hmm.
So it made $3 million in 2 weekends. And then for the next 37 weeks, it made another million. So it's probably stayed at a few theaters that were a little more, I don't know, I want to say hip or more progressive, artsy clientele.
Yeah, this was definitely a very niche market for this movie because it was based on a comic book that was popular, but also kind of niche. Like it wasn't a Superman or,
No.
It wasn't Marvel, it wasn't DC, it didn't have that kind of recognition across the board.
Yeah.
So it was kind of more, it had its own little corner.
Yeah.
And then they made a movie about it and they thought the movie will be fun because this is a fun comic. And then a lot of people did not get the movie.
No. And in the 90s, superhero movies were not really a thing.
No.
Not like we got Judge Dredd. We got, I can't remember. We got Punisher and Captain America, but not like today. They were very low budget. They weren't bad, but
they weren't.
They didn't put the money and stuff in it like they did today.
No, it's superhero movies in the 90s. I mean, that's when we got most of the Batmans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got,
and then there were some failures with like the Phantom.
The Shadow.
Blade was huge.
Blade near the end of the end of the 90s. It was Blade was actually really good.
Sad. Blade was good, although my favorite is still Blade Trinity.
Really?
Ryan Reynolds.
Oh my god! Actually, I like that movie.
I like it. It's funny.
But Blade 2 is my favorite. That movie just
Blade 2 is pretty good. I'll give you that.
But I could watch all three. I liked the Blade movies. Yeah.
So I mean, the 90s was hit or miss. You had some really good ones and some that you're like, who decided to make The Rocketeer?
Actually, I remember liking The Rocketeer.
Well, then there was Darkman. Who decided to make that?
Yeah,
Dick Tracy.
Okay, I love Darkman.
Yeah.
Dick Tracy, I don't remember. And we got The Mask. We got Spawn.
Yeah.
We got the Ninja Turtles. We got the Batman movies. We got Mystery Man. We got The Crow, which I remember liking. Yeah.
The Crow is so good. The Crow is a classic.
Time Cop, the RoboCop 2, which was all right. RoboCop 3, which was not. The Mask of Zorro.
So it was very, very much hit or miss.
Yeah.
In the 90s for superhero or comic book movies. Some of them hit it on the mark, but just weren't like mass marketable. And then some of them were just shitty. And then there was stuff like the Turtles, which hit both.
Yeah, the Turtles, and I would say the Batman movies. Like Batman Returns was huge. Batman Forever was huge. Batman and Robin, not so much.
Not so much, but there was also just a lot of people had a lot of issues with that movie for no good goddamn reason.
You really like because we talked about Batman.
Yeah,
you really
Batman and Robin was a good movie.
We're gonna have to watch it because
we're gonna have to watch it. I remember liking that movie, but I also remember because I think that's the one that has Batgirl in it. Poor Alicia Silverstone. She has to do this movie, and everybody's just like, she's so fat, and I'm like, she's like a size 6, you fat phobic motherfuckers.
That's what Batman got his nipples, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and
amen. Ain't nothing wrong with some nipples on a Batman.
All right, let's go to the tail of the tape for Tank Girl. Yeah, so the 90s were all over the place for quality. Not a lot of Marvel movies, but here we go. 1995 is a sci-fi adventure action rated R, which I kind of shocks me.
Interesting.
Comes in an hour and 44 minutes. So if this sucks, it's going to seem long.
Yeah.
Taglines. In the future, the odds of survival are 1,000 to 1.
That's not a good tagline.
In the future, the odds of survival are 1,000 to 1. That's just the way she likes it.
That's not a good tagline.
They just added to it. That's just the way she likes it.
That's also not a good tagline.
And I'm not making this up. These are the taglines that I've gotten for this movie.
Jesus. Who approved this?
Too hip for Spielberg.
That's nonsensical.
Well, actually, there is a story behind that. It'll probably be in our trivia, but I'll just say that Spielberg was offered to direct it. And he came back and said that he believes he's not into comic books. He didn't think he was too hip to make the movie. He wasn't hip enough to make Tank Girl based on the comic books.
Uh-huh.
So they used that as a tagline.
Yes, but that is a tagline only goes to a very, very specific, incredibly small amount of the possible viewers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is useless. This is a shitty tagline.
I think they gave him the script and he looked at it and he's like, I don't think so. Make up whatever excuse you want. I'm not doing this movie.
I'm not cool enough for this. You're going to have to pick someone else.
Yeah. In 2033, Justice rides a tank and wears lip gloss.
That is a much, much better tagline.
That is, yeah. That was the best one.
That was, yes.
Synopsis. After a comet disrupts the rain cycle of Earth, the planet has become a desolate, barren desert by the year 2033. With resources scarce, Kesley, Malcolm McDowell, head of the powerful and evil Water and Power Corporation and the de facto government, has taken control of the water supply. Unwilling to cower under Kesley's tyrannical rule, a pair of outlaws known as Tank Girl, Lori Petty, and Jet Girl, Naomi Watts, forgot she was in this, rise up, joining the mysterious rebel rippers to destroy the corrupt system. It sounds all right.
Yeah. Now let's just see how it plays out.
And here is the poster. In the future, the odds of survival are 1001. That's just the way she likes it. Is on the top. There's some airplane type things. And then there's the tank with her kind of leaning into the camera type thing. That's an all right. It's an all right poster. Nothing wrong with it, really. That's probably the reason I rented it. I did not go to the theater. No one went to the theater and watched this fucking movie. So I rented it just like everyone else. And this is probably why I rented it. I'd never read the comic as a kid.
Yeah.
So
I never read the comic either, but I think I watched it not in the theaters, but I think I rented it.
Yeah. And you would have walked into Blockbuster, saw a bunch of these on the wall, and you're looking at it going, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Futuristic apocalypse, tanks,
Lord
whatever.
Petty.
Here are a couple other. Here's one that was the coming soon one. Poster girl for the apocalypse. I like that better than the.
Yeah.
And then this one has her being shot out of the tank. I think this is for another country. Tank girl.
Yeah.
You're all right. Yeah.
She's mad, bad, and dangerous to know. That's a better tagline.
That's
Poster
a better
girl for the
tagline.
apocalypse.
Yeah.
Perfect tagline. Like, they should have just kept that. Instead of fucking around with 1,000 to 1, 1,000 to. That's the way she likes it.
47 critic reviews, comes in at 45%.
God damn.
25,000 audience reviews, comes in at 62%. So there was a bit. The audience liked it more.
Yeah.
Critic consensus. While unconventional, Tank Girl isn't particularly clever or engaging, and none of the script's copious one-liners have any real zing. All right, so let's start with the fresh, and you may start.
In bringing to life the comic book of the same name by Alan Martin and Jamie Hewlett, Telele incorporates bombastic action, cartoon violence, a bold color palette, and even traditional hand-drawn animation into a unique world all its own. Mariah E. Gates, cool people have feelings too. Yeah, they do, Mariah.
I found it entertaining in a pleasantly odd way. Dennis Schwartz movie reviews, original score B.
That's very promising. The movie is hyperactive and generally a lot of fun, with a kick-ass soundtrack supervised by Courtney Love and imaginatively cluttered production design by Catherine Hardwicke. Rob Gonzalez, Rob's Movie Vault, original score B.
So it looks cool and sounds good.
Yeah,
Great.
that's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah. A lot more fun than you'd think. Ken Hankey, Mountain Express, original score 3.3 out of 5.
Welcome back to the podcast, Ken. We should see if he wants to guest.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Is he still alive? Let's find him.
I think he would be.
A glorious spastic mess. Mark Savlov, Austin Chronicle, original score 3 out of 5.
The result is a bracing film that's halfway between a string of MTV videos, Courtney Love put together the edgy soundtrack, and some of that network's over-the-top cartoons. Richard Harrington, Washington Post.
It's fantastic.
MTV was pretty big around this time too. So
Very, very big.
yeah.
Beavis and Butthead was too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, here are the rotten. Oop, sorry. And you may go.
Simply Bad. Madeline Williams, Cinematter. Original score 0 out of 4. That's our second 0.
Yeah. Petty ruins this movie with her bad acting. Inability to crack jokes and the ability to look stupid no matter what she is doing. This isn't an IMDb. This is an actual critic. Christopher Null, filmcritic.com. Original score 1.5 out of 5. He
That
is
was
not
so
like
harsh.
Petty.
I wanted to like Tank Girl, but I kept feeling that the filmmakers kept daring me to not like it, daring me to be unhip. Scott Renshaw, Rec Arts Movies Reviews, original score 4 out of 10. I have a feeling Scott is actually unhip.
Yeah. Watching Tank Girl is as disorienting as waking up in someone else's bad dream. You want to get out as fast as possible, but all the exit seems to be blocked. Kenneth Turan, Los Angeles Times, original score 1 out of 5.
Dang, Kenneth. Ugh. Mike McCranagan, Aisle Seat, original score 1 out of 5. Even with just 1 out of 5. Not even a 0.
No, for those listening, that's the review. UGH.
Period.
Ugh.
Ugh.
How well you'll tolerate this utterly unhinged quasi-feminist comic book fantasy depends on your Lori Petty threshold. TV Guide original score 2 out of 4.
TV Guide, you're so mean.
Wow.
Enormous energy went into this movie. I could not, however, care about it for much more than a moment at a time. And after a while, its manic energy wore me down. Roger Ebert, Chicago Sun-Times, original score 2 out of 4.
All right. IMDb, the voice of reason. 35,000 user ratings, comes in at 5.4 out of 10.
Ew.
You may go.
All right. If you don't like this movie, you probably don't like fun. 10 out of 10, Tom Swirly.
Hilarious, but not for the norms. You normies. 9 out of 10, Dante, 42.
Perfect. Great fun and visually interesting with some wonderful one-liners and buckets of attitude. 8 out of 10, Mephisto, 24.
Many, many flaws, but somehow still amazing. 7 out of 10, The Conjurer.
Stupid, but loads of fun. 6 out of 10, Ramstein, 2.
Tanks a lot. 5 out of 10, Lee Eisenberg.
Yeah. 4 out of 10, Katron Wallace.
It just says YEAH, period.
Period.
Yeah. Insane, but I have to admit I admire any movie where they have somehow convinced Ice-T to play an anthropomorphic wallaby. 3 out of 10, Le Gremlin.
I always thought he was a kangaroo.
I thought he was a kangaroo too, so I guess they might be a wallabies.
Interesting. For Spice Girls fans, 2 out of 10, Salut toi.
Oh, here we go. Forgot. A masterpiece without equal. I believe that this movie is the holy grail of bad films. It has everything one would look for in the worst movie of all time. Most annoying protagonist ever. Check. Terrible acting? Check. Bad storyline? Check. This movie is undoubtedly the worst film I've ever seen, which is truly saying something. For years, I have scoured late-night TV, Walmart bargain bins, and on-demand looking for a movie to bestow this title upon, and I can now say that I have completed this task. This film has no redeeming qualities either. Most movies, you can say the acting was bad, but at least it had a good premise. But not here. This film has nothing going for it. I highly recommend that everyone watch this film because every movie you watch from here on out, you can say at least it's better than Tank Girl. 1 out of 10, Ketron Wallace.
I don't think that's actually, unless the one I read before was also him.
No, was it?
Yeah. He's come up twice now in this one.
Oh, no. Oh,
Say
it is.
4 out of 10.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Give me 2 seconds, because someone that wrote this needs to have.
They need to have their proper credit.
Yeah, and I have it. All right. So, a masterpiece without equal. That full review was not by Keitro Wallace. This was actually done by Herbie Greattone.
Thank you, Herbie. Thank you for your service.
So every other movie you watch from here on out, you can say, hey, at least it's better than Tank Girl.
This is concerning.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But people who liked it.
Yeah.
All right. So we did the box office. We took a look at everything the movie has and even the review. So let us look at the trailer and then come back and make our predictions.
It's the year 2033. There's no law. No mercy.
You're gonna really love this one.
And no water.
There are 3 million liters of water underneath the blue dunes, and you will retrieve it.
The odds of survival are 1,000 to 1. And that's just the way she likes it.
My. Talented, isn't she?
Hi, feeling a little inadequate?
She'll be fun to break.
I like pain.
Lori Petty.
Did I hurt you yet?
Ice-T.
Turn this boat around and you're gonna get us all killed.
And Malcolm McDowell.
Just how many of my men did you kill?
United Artists Pictures presents
Just say, I won.
I won.
Tank Girl.
What's it like knowing you're about to die?
You don't.
Well, I will say the soundtrack looks good.
Soundtrack looks amazing. I might have to look that shit up on Spotify.
Yeah. The movie. Okay, well, what are your predictions for Tank Girl?
I think I may agree that it's a crappy movie. However, I'm holding out hope that was just a really crappily edited trailer and lines will hit better in the movie. But I do not have high hopes.
No, I don't have high hopes either. But it could be, it's been a while. It could have now wandered into territory of so bad it's good.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
I mean, Ice-T as a wallaby.
Or a kangaroo.
Or
We
kangaroo.
haven't
We don't
decided
know.
yet.
No. Lori Petty looks like Lori Petty.
She
Malcolm
does,
McDowell is just Malcolm McDowell is just a very professional and amazing actor, and you can put him in anything and he will give you what you want.
Also, he's one of the greatest villains.
Oh God, ever since Clockwork Orange and
yeah,
he's been
so
the
good.
Star Trek Generations.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Everything
can be anything you want him to be. Make him a bad guy and
you hit a sweet spot with him.
Yeah.
Like he just knows how to do devious.
Yeah.
Without being campy or uncomfortable or weird.
And Naomi Watts, I forgot, was even in this movie.
Same.
Was this her first movie?
I don't think so. I know she did a lot of, like maybe the first movie in the US.
She plays Jet Girl.
Yeah.
Naomi Watts is a very, 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 very good actress. Like stupid good.
She is
I'm just
very
taking a quick
good.
look here.
No,
she did a few things before she did quite a few things before this.
Yeah,
I think this was her first big
North American thing.
Yeah, I think everything else here. She was in Matinee, but it was just a small part. Home and Away, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
Home and Away is an Australian,
TV series,
so
yeah.
Brides
So this
of
is probably her
Christ.
big budget movie, her first real big budget movie.
Yeah.
And then after this, her career went into overdrive.
Oh yeah. She killed it after, like, she just kept building on it.
And what I really like about Naomi Watts is that she did like the artsy films. She did the
Mhm.
really like Mulholland Drive and all those. But
Yeah.
then she also did The Ring, Eastern Promises, Funny Games. Yeah, she's done a lot.
She's done a lot of very, very different things.
Yeah.
And I love that for her because she just kept it crazy in her career. She's like, let me do everything. Like King Kong.
Yeah, I actually like King Kong. I remember liking King Kong.
I remember liking King Kong too. And I was like, first of all, it's King Kong. Whatever.
Peter Jackson.
Yeah. Like movie 43. And then she played Diana. I thought she was probably the person who looked most like Diana. Yeah, there's a lot of random stuff that she's done. And I'm just like, you just kept going all over the place. And I love that.
Well, I don't think she was at the pinnacle of her craft to save this movie, but we'll see.
We'll see if this is just a learning experience for her.
Like you, I don't have a lot of high hopes, but I'm hoping it leans into that campy fun and not just what the fuck am I watching?
That's what I'm holding on to. I really just want to be able to roll my eyes and laugh with it. And, maybe have a little bit of a nostalgia if there's like enough kind of 90s humor and moments. I'm like, maybe we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, we're going to find out as we are about to go watch Tank Girl starring Lori Petty. And when we come back, we are going to review it. Yay.
Woo.
You heard them. Movie time. Let's all go to the lobby and get ourselves a treat, and then watch a classic kick-ass movie from whenever the one we're about to watch was made.
Okay, so this is coming back from Tank Girl. This is my face for Tank Girl. Did you watch the 1995 comic book Feminist Bazaar? I'm not sure what I just watched, but yeah.
I did, yes.
What's your initial thoughts?
First of all, I don't know how much feminism is actually in it.
For a
other
feminist,
than it has a female lead.
Yeah, it was really hyped as a feminist movie back in the 90s. And all the stuff that I looked over when it was feminist. And I'm watching it going, it's kind of just role reversal. Like it's just
I don't see, other than it has a female lead who's irreverent and violent. I'm like, but that in and of itself is not feminism.
Maybe more girl power.
Which in theory, people are like, girl power is feminism. I'm like, this is just a mentally unbalanced, but excited by violence, random. I was like, this is not, she's not working towards any sort of, anyways, I have so many thoughts.
She is a female.
She's female.
She's helping a female, and she's trying to rescue a female. I think in 1995 that qualified as feminism.
Apparently, because I was watching it and I was like, don't get me wrong, but like the main reason why she starts going to shit and going crazy is because her boyfriend is shot. I was like, I don't know how feminist that is, because if she had started shooting right off the bat and she got real violent real fast, okay, fine, feminism, sure. But I'm like, she watched her boyfriend get shot and then that's when she loses her shit. I was like, no, girl. You lose your shit because random people are shooting at home, at your home, or they're trying to like take it up. There's a lot that's not. Anyways, we're gonna discuss that.
Yeah. Well,
but yes, I watched it.
Tank Girl. It's a movie, so it's got that going for it. There were times I thought I was watching the Monkees. Remember that old 60s?
I love that show.
Yeah, I used to, because it used to play in the afternoons
on Much
or
Music
after school. Yeah, and it was different for me.
Along with
American.
the Partridge. Oh, see, I watched it on Much Music with the Partridge Family.
Yeah, and I remember liking like the monkey. I loved all that 60s crap, the banana splits, the
Yeah.
monkeys, all that stuff. But this is what sometimes this is what it remind, like all those fast forward scenes, and then she's just laying on the ground tired because haha, she was going in fast forward. I won't lie, I looked at my watch a few times and I was sad. Mostly because I didn't have a watch to tell me how much time I had left to go in this movie. But yeah, you're right. Instead of an edgy and cool Tank Girl comes off as like Harley Quinn's intellectually disabled cousin. Like she doesn't come off cool. She doesn't come off smart. She doesn't. They had a. We'll get into this because they had a really good opportunity here, and
They had such a great opportunity.
And as I watch this, I'm going, I don't think I did like this movie back in 1995. This is one of the. That's why I didn't watch it since 1995.
Yes. Like watching it now, I'm like, they shat the bed. Like they really shat the bed with this one. Like they could have, like it was there. The elements were there.
Yeah, they had everything.
They had everything. And they just were like, fuck this. We're gonna make something so boring.
Yeah.
People will fall. I had to fight to stay awake during it.
And it wasn't that long of a movie.
No. That's what killed me. I'm like, it's a 3-hour like English patient bullshit.
No.
Like this is, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And as I'm watching it, I'm just getting more and more sad because I'm like, guys, you could have done so much better.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's go over the movie.
Oh yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Like it pretty much sums. I think I know where our scores are going, but we got some time to fill. So
yeah.
Okay, now the Wikipedia plot outline is not that long, and I am okay with that. This movie is thin on story. This movie is thin on everything.
True story.
So, in the year 2033, after a decade-long global drought in the wake of a comet striking the Earth, the little remaining water is controlled by Kesley, Malcolm McDowell,
yes,
and his Water and Power W&P Corporation, which subdues the population by monopolizing the water supply. They didn't even give us hints of that. Like, and Tank Girl gives us this rundown of what happened.
Yeah.
The voiceover explains the story. That was okay.
It was fine.
Yeah, it was all right.
I wasn't mad.
I like going into a movie knowing what's going on. I appreciate it. Sometimes it's done with
yeah.
visuals and narrating is much cheaper. But I do appreciate knowing what's going on. Some movies that you figure it out as you go. This is not that type of movie. Thank God. Because if I had to work to understand this movie, I'd have been even more pissed. Rebecca Buck, Tank Girl, Lori Petty, is a member of a commune in the Australian outback that operates the last water well not controlled by the corporation. In an attack on the commune, W&P troops kill Tank Girl's boyfriend, Richard Brian Wimmer, and capture Tank Girl and her young friend Sam, Stacey Lynn Ramsower. That's the actress. Okay, so we see the commune. They're living together. They got water. They shower together, according to Tank Girl. Rebecca is supposed to be on guard duty. What a piss poor job she did.
Fuck yeah, tell me about it.
Because they landed aircraft and dozens of soldiers, and it was the desert.
Right?
There's no
nothing blocking your
mountains.
view. They couldn't fucking sneak in.
No.
Like this was they were not even trying to be quiet.
No.
And the best part is, like, she's doing a bunch of stuff. And also, I got really mad because she was just throwing away cigarettes. I'm like, you're telling me that you just have post-apocalypse, you just have never-ending cigarettes, like never-ending tobacco. But fine, I'm not going to get mad about that.
Even
I was annoyed, but not mad.
Conserve their cigarettes.
Right? She's just like smoking half a cigarette and then tossing it. And I was like, God. And then she's, painting her nails and whatever. Anyways, because the movie starts off with her looking for a birthday present for her boyfriend. She comes back with a birthday present, which happens to be a pair of boots. Yay. He finds the present. She thinks he's coming because she hears Boots, I guess, walking towards her. Does she look? No. She starts snipping at her clothing.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I highly doubt that there's a Walmart open where she could just go and pick up a new pair of pants. But she's snipping at her clothing. Like, it doesn't matter. Anyways, doesn't even look. Is obviously not watching for anyone.
No.
And then really creepy guard guy.
Yeah.
He's like, keep going.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay. And then eventually she fights him. It's all very nice. But I was like, God, this is how we're gonna like everything they've done to introduce her. All I see is someone who I'm like, you're high, aren't you? Like
Yeah.
you're just living life high
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
no care in the world.
And not once does she take responsibility for
No,
because it was
there's
all her fault.
one moment of I should have been keeping better watch. Nope,
No.
nothing.
Nope. And this harkens back this whole like the fight scenes and shootouts here were fucking horrible.
Oh,
This harkens back to 80s heroes taking out gangs and armies like a one-man army. But unlike those guys, Tank Girl doesn't even aim. I don't even think she has her eyes open sometimes. And she's dropping soldiers left and right.
Yep.
Some guys are jumping, and I don't mean like stunt guys with ropes around their waist being hauled backwards. It's like the director directed them to literally jump backwards. One dude got shot in the chest and jumped forward. And squibs, those little lightning
Yep.
squibs going off. Oh,
I
my
was
God.
watching it. I was like, she has one gun, but apparently she's so good
Yeah.
that she's just hitting all of these well uniformed, Kevlared,
Yeah.
like trained soldiers. And I was
Poorly
like,
trained.
apparently, because they all
Apparently.
just stood there while waiting to get shot. And I was like, okay, fine. Whatevs.
Yeah, this is some 80s Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone shit going on.
I was and she's there at the window and I was she's standing laying there actually, I think at this point.
Yeah, she was laying there.
Holding the gun, looking in, watching everybody either get snatched, the kid was snatched,
Yeah.
her boyfriend's killed. She watched them run into that house. Just let them. Like, I'm just gonna wait until you come back out.
Yeah. And the piece de resistance, the airplane that hovers in front of the house while the soldiers are inside and unleashes thousands of bullets, sparks flying, squibs flying,
Yep.
not one hole in that house. And then all the soldiers come walking out.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that many bullets, no one should have been living. That house should have been leveled. Like, I know it's a goofy movie, but Jesus, you're asking a lot. Like, you're asking a lot of me.
It could have been like that fight, that shootout could have been directed better.
Yeah.
Mind you, this entire movie could have been written better, but fine. Like, I get it that she's supposed to be kind of edgy and irreverent and very like extreme. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But this just felt like she did not care.
No.
And I'm like, I feel like that's not I feel like it's not the vibe that they should have gone for.
Yeah, no, she got over everything pretty quick.
She was cool.
Yeah.
She was good. There was no moment.
No.
No.
Yeah, and you could still have a goofy, cartoony movie like this and still put a bit of because you want us to take the movie serious, enjoying it. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Rather than killing her, Kesley enslaves and tortures the defiant Tank Girl. Jet Girl, Naomi Watts, a talented but introverted jet mechanic who has given up trying to escape WMP, urges Tank Girl to make less trouble for their captors. Though Tank Girl refuses, among other forms of torture, WMP personnel push her down into a long pipe and induce claustrophobia. So Kesley, Malcolm McDowell, and first, Malcolm McDowell is fine in
He's
this
awesome
movie.
always. Yeah.
Yeah, you got yourself a great villain. He's just Malcolm McDowell, and he played it.
That's all you need. He played it well. Like his character is ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
But he played it perfectly that you are kind of like, you're making me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like not in a you're weird and I'm laughing at you kind of way, but in a I would really not want to work for you.
No, because he makes the one guy walk across glass before he kills him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dehydrates him.
Dehydrates him.
And then drinks his body
his water. So you
like
got your villain.
You're not going to run it through a filtration, like anything, nothing.
No, and he's like,
not even a coffee filter.
Delightful.
Yeah, I'm like, ugh.
So he sends her to the mines, like literally. She tries to escape. She gets caught. Then they take her out to the desert, looking for. Finally, they're like done, and because he wants to use her, she doesn't give up. So they take her out to the desert. They think they have the Ripper's lair. And because things keep sinking but blowing up, so they're like going to send her in, and if she gets through, great. They know where it is. If she blows up, well, then she blows up.
Yeah.
The mysterious Rippers slaughter guards at the W&P compound, then escape. Kesley uses Tank Girl to lure the Ripper. Yeah, this is what Wikipedia says. The mysterious Rippers slaughter guards at the WP compound, then escape. Kesley uses Tank Girl to lure Rippers into the open, but they gravely wound him. Yeah, he gets ripped apart.
Yeah, his arm is ripped off.
Yeah, Tank Girl and Jet Girl escape during the attack. Jet Girl steals a fighter jet from WP, and Tank Girl steals a tank, which she modifies heavily through montage.
Yes.
Mostly done with comic strips.
Yeah, I have the comic strips.
They relied heavily on them.
It's like the comic strip, like animation. I was like, I get it. This is a comic book. You don't have to throw in the comic animation to convince me. This movie is like the basic storyline of this movie is enough to convince me it's a comic.
Yeah.
Like I get it. And it felt so not even jarring because they almost made it like a little music video that they would throw in throughout, which I was like, this does not flow well.
Yeah, this would have been better to use right at the beginning to explain everything.
By all means.
And then maybe like one montage or the ending or something. But they used it quite a lot.
All the fucking time.
Yeah. Like, where'd your 25 million go, dude?
Apparently to the animation.
Yeah. The girls learn from the eccentric sub-girl, Ann Cusack, that Sam is working at a sex club called Liquid Silver. I didn't even know she was sub-girl. Like, something tells me the editing.
Yeah.
Or they forgot, but she was sub-girl. This was a horrible scene. Like, she knocked her out with that plastic fish.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, God.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's so dumb. It's like they got one take and forgot about it and then had to use it.
Oh my God.
They infiltrate the club, rescue Sam from a pedophile rat face. Iggy Pop makes his cameo. Poor Iggy Pop. I don't know why he would agree to that. That's a creepy fucking cameo.
Because he's Iggy Pop.
That's true.
He probably thought it was going to be cool.
Yeah, probably thought it was going to be cool. And then humiliate the club's owner, the madam, Ann Magnuson, by making her sing Cole Porter's Let's Do It at gunpoint. This was stupid, right?
This was incredibly stupid.
Okay. It wasn't just me.
Incredibly stupid. Like, not even just a little bit, incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
I actually made a note. This is my note. I'm like, so you go to rescue a girl and stop to perform a musical number?
Yeah, not escape.
No, not escape.
Perform a musical number.
With dance, like full dancers, lights on a stage. Tank Girl's just performing. I'm like, excuse me? Excuse me, what now?
Yeah. I love a big musical number as much as the next guy, but this was dumb.
I like them in musicals.
Yeah.
This is not a musical. If it fits the storyline, this makes no sense.
No.
This makes no sense.
The pedophile thing was a bit cringe. Is that how the kids say it now? Cringe?
Yes. It was cringe. Of course, it's not the kids who say it. It's now millennials.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Sorry, my kids.
Yeah.
Probably won't even pronounce, or they're probably made up words. Like if this was an R-rated, edgy, gritty movie, this all could have kind of worked, maybe. Like, but as a weird, fluffy, puffy, strangely rated R, why was this rated R? There's no nudity. Was it the language?
It
can't be the gore.
It might have been the violence.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shooting. There's a lot of people dropping dead. There's a lot of limbs. Like even that when she's walking through the thing of that one scene where she's walking through the dead bodies and some of them have like flares in their mouth and things like that. That would be enough to get it an R rating. Because this was also at the beginning of the rating fiasco where they were starting to revisit like what qualifies as an R and NC-17, and they were like, maybe we have more ratings, blah 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 blah. And also this was, if I'm not mistaken, when did ratings for
Showgirls?
Oh God.
Because that was one of the things where they tried to give it an NC, and they had to edit just to get it down to an R.
By the way, we should totally watch that. The rating,
Apparently, it's like now it's been revisited a lot, and people are like, I remember liking it. I probably liked it for a lot different reasons than movie critics did back in the 90s.
I know I didn't
I was
hate
a
it. I
teenager.
didn't hate it,
I didn't hate it either.
but I watched it and I was like, why is everybody so mad?
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't
Like,
think it was that bad.
I didn't think it was like Oscar worthy. Like poor Elizabeth.
Hurley
What was her name? No.
from Saved by the
Well,
Bell. Oh,
Saved by the
Elizabeth
Bell.
Hurley. That's Hugh Grant's
No.
ex-wife.
We'll figure it out. Anyways, ratings for songs first started in 1987. So that was when people started. But like it started ramping up in the 90s and people were getting very like, this was also, coming off of the Say No to Drugs, whatever. A lot of helicopter parenting was starting in the 90s.
Yeah, that's when we got introduced to TGIF and
Yeah. Like there was a very much like, let's come back to wholesome.
yeah.
But then
Which
I
is-
also realized talking about this right now, this movie is the 90s version of feminism.
Yeah.
Like Spice Girls feminism. That's what this movie is. And there's nothing wrong with that. But this is not a feminism powerhouse.
No.
This is the bubblegum pop version.
I
of
would
feminism.
argue now that we brought it up, Showgirls would be more feminism than this movie.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, we should do Showgirls.
We should totally do. I haven't seen Showgirls in literally maybe a couple decades.
I
When did it
went
even come out?
93, I think. And I
95.
remember 95. Okay, so I did go to the theater. I was supposed to go to the theater with a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I pitched a fit because I wanted to go watch Halloween 6. Then I watched Showgirls and like I should have, because when I watched it, we had broken up, but I'm like, we really should have went and watched Showgirls.
Yeah, you should have gone to watch.
I really didn't think that one through.
Yeah, no, you didn't. God, really? You turned down strippers for Michael Myers? What is
I
wrong
know.
with you? Elizabeth Berkley is who started Showgirls.
That's right.
I knew it was an Elizabeth, didn't realize she really thought this was going to be her big break into movies and more adult roles. Little did she know it would just make her a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah. And now, because the director, he directed like, oh my God, Total Recall and Starship Troopers and all those movies. But he said he filmed it this way on purpose, and he made it. I can't remember what I remember reading it a while ago, and now people are going, yeah, it is kind of like that. So yeah, I would like to go back and
we should totally watch it. Okay,
we're talking about like a movie that might be better because this movie.
Honestly, there are a lot of movies where you get really influenced by what people are saying about it and the time.
Yeah.
So when you go to watch it, it filters through that.
Yeah.
Like in 1995, you would have watched Tank Girl and been like, God, this is so cool. Whereas in 2023, well,
I think I liked Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone better than this movie.
Damn. Well, no, actually, that's one of my favorite movies. Who am I kidding?
Judge Dredd is one of your favorite movies?
It is.
Not the Carl Urban, the Sylvester Stallone.
No,
one?
Sylvester Stallone.
Because Carl Urban one's really awesome.
No, that one's a good quality movie.
Oh, you mean cheesy bad movie?
One of my favorites.
Yes.
Every time it is on TV, I want to watch it.
Yeah.
They have
We
not
should
been
watch
playing it
that
enough
one,
in the last
too.
few years. Yes. I'm
I
telling
think
you,
we're
man,
making our list.
there's something. Look, Benjamin Bratt's in it and Sandra Bullock.
Rob Schneider and
Rob Schneider. Like, it is.
Oh, wait
my
a minute.
God,
I think you're thinking about the wrong movie. I think you're thinking about
Am I?
Demolition Man
Oh, fuck,
with
you're
Wesley
right.
Snipes.
Oh, shit. Who's?
Judge Dredd is with Rob Schneider. I am the law, and Rob Schneider makes fun of him, and then they
Wait,
both
no.
get sent out to the apocalyptic post wasteland or whatever.
Oh, my God. Yes, I've seen this one. I know this one.
Yeah, Judge
Also the-
Dredd. Demolition Man, agreed, is fantastic. Campy.
One of the best movies ever.
Yeah, it is so fun, so campy. Wesley
We should watch
Snipes
Judge
is
Dredd.
awesome. Yes, we should watch Judge
Because
Dredd.
I'm realizing it's been decades since I've seen this one too.
And it came out, I think, the same year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we should have just a 1995 series.
Yeah, we've been watching a lot of 1995.
We really have.
It seems
Apparently
like it's
they
been
made a lot of
great.
movies.
I don't know about great. We'll have to go back and see what other 95 ones we watched.
Yeah, but that's okay. But anyways,
All right.
we're gonna get back to Tank Girl.
Yes. Okay. So WP, the troops break up the performance and recapture Sam. Okay. This might be the stupidest scene in a movie full of stupid. They send in a small army to kidnap Sam.
Yep.
The girl Tank Girl loves.
Mm-hmm.
from Tank Girl to lure Tank Girl into a trap.
As opposed to just, capturing Tank Girl during her musical number.
They're actually, when they see her get in the jet, they're walking among troops.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's right there, you fucking morons. Get her.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
Like a lot where you're just like, did anybody read this twice?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Basically, villain sends in an army, still girl from Tank Girl to lure Tank Girl into a trap. That sums up the hate I have for this movie. This isn't silly 60s pop rock sitcom fun. This is just plain dumb.
Yep. You can, if there was a story editor on this, like I kind of want to check the credits now, that story editor should never work ever again.
Yeah, I have a note like that later. just down here a bit. Okay, so Tank Girl and Jet Girl wander the desert and find the Rippers' hideout.
Mhm.
They learn that the Rippers are super soldiers creating from human and kangaroo DNA, not wallabies,
Yes.
like we had in our...
I made a note. They're
Yeah.
kangaroos.
Not wallabies.
Although there is that one Ripper who
Looks kind of like a wallaby.
Well, one of them's apparently mixed with a dog. So
Yeah. That actor, I have it written down somewhere, is amazing. He always
Yes.
plays a bad guy because he looks like a bad guy, but he is such a good actor.
Are you talking about Jeff Kober?
Yes.
Booga? Yeah.
Yeah. He's amazing.
He is the greatest villain to villain ever. But also this is terrible to say. The kangaroos were my favorite part.
Actually, I made a note. Okay, so Tank Girl, that they learn that the Rippers are called Johnny Prophet. Yeah, this was not the worst. I thought this was going to be, because I'm sitting there looking at the time and going, oh my God, they haven't even got to the fucking kangaroos yet. And I'm like, but that was not the worst part at all. That actually might have been the highlight of this movie.
Yep.
The kangaroos.
The kangaroos were actually a highlight because they were all very distinctive personalities.
Yep.
Some were more serious than others. They all had a mission, not like Tank Girl, who was just kind of like, whatevs.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm being held captive now. Whatevs. I'm supposed to be watching. Whatevs. Oh, I'm supposed to be protecting this little girl who I'm trying to rescue from being in a brothel. Oh, but there's a musical number. Whatevs. Yeah. I wanted to fucking punch her through half of this movie. But anyways. Okay, I'm okay now.
I like the truth serum, or they give them the gas to tell the truth.
Yes.
I like that. Even the one who's like, we should let these drugs. What did he say? We should hump them, like while they're drugged out. That one that's always and dry humping Jet Girl.
Yes.
When they're doing their dance number.
I think he says just before they start, don't worry, I have a condom.
Yeah, I have condoms.
Like, what? But he's just like, they're all fully dressed and he's just like kind of humping on her. And then she eventually gets into it. And I was like, this is nice.
I actually laughed out loud because while not in the political climate of today, it was still funny. Because he was giving her.
It's funny because it's also ridiculous, and
it's beyond ridiculous.
How many people's dogs do you know that hump like that? So that was my first thought. I was like, oh my God, he's just an overgrown dog. This is amazing. Also, Ice-T plays a fantastic grumpy kangaroo, and I'm like, why are the kangaroos my favorite part?
Yeah, surprisingly, I really thought, because I kind of remember that, because being like, oh, the kangaroos are so stupid. And I was worried about, like, the kangaroos having shown. It's been an hour. It felt like 3.
Yeah.
And the kangaroos, but yeah, they were actually a highlight of. They were funny. I did enjoy them. I liked the horny one. I liked the Ice-T one. I liked the mellow poem speaking one. And then what's his name? The dog, the one that was actually a dog. And
yes.
Because he was so smart, they moved him to the front of the line, and he was actually pretty good.
They were fantastic. And I was like, why am I enjoying these scenes so much more?
I think because you just watched an hour of Tank Girl by herself before that, and finally something that was enjoyable popped up.
Yeah.
Where are we here? While a Ripper named Donner, Scott Coffey, shows romantic interest in Jet Girl, despite the objections of the Ripper T Saint, Ice-T, who is suspicious of the girls, the Ripper's leader, DT, Reg E. Guthrie, sends the pair out to capture a shipment of weapons. This is the whole pretending to be the photographers, taking pictures for the calendar.
Yeah.
I know someone or a few people read this script and was like, this is good. I just hope none of those people are working on anything ever again. That's my note I have here. whoever okayed all these ideas, I hope they do. So does the director. The girls bring the weapon crates back through most are empty. After finding Johnny Prophet dead in the one container, the girls and the Rippers realize that WP has tricked them. Now, a really good villain, not even a great villain, just a mediocre good, would have put a tracker in one of those crates. Nope, this was to antagonize the Rippers to come and battle it out in his evil lair. That whole scene of getting the shipment wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad.
It was goofy where she like falls and sits on. I get that was what they're trying to portray. It wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
But by this time, I'm already.
You're tired of it by now.
Yeah.
You're just like, come on, guys.
So the girls and the Rippers sneak into WP where they are ambushed. Kesley, whose body had been reconstructed by cybernetic surgeon Chet Tsai, played by James Hong, who is freaking great in everything he does.
He's a legend.
From Big Trouble in Little China to Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
And everything in between.
He just did Kung Fu Panda 4.
Yeah. And guest spots in Seinfeld and King of Queens and Big Bang Theory. I looked at his IMDb, 462 acting credits.
Yeah. He's a fucking legend.
And probably not paid a penny what he's actually worth.
Oh, God, no. No, not even close.
Oh.
The man is priceless.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Priceless.
And he reveals that Tank Girl was unknowingly had been bugged the entire time. So Malcolm McDowell bugged her, not to find her, just to listen to her.
But also remember, he did put a tracker in her.
Did he?
Yeah, just before he was going to send her to find the Rippers.
Oh, yeah. So why didn't...
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, as soon as I remember that now. I forgot all about that. Yeah, he did put a tracker just in case she got.
Well, when he said, "Well, it was you. We filled you full of like microphones and listening devices and whatever," he said, I was sitting there going, "Wait, they also put a tracker in her."
Yeah.
So why the fuck did they just take her out? Jesus Christ!
He played a great villain, but the villain on screen was not a good villain. He was very bad.
He was a stupid villain.
Yeah.
Stupid.
DT, the Ripper, sacrifices himself, damaging the generator. And in the darkness, the Rippers turn the tide of the battle. Jet Girl kills Sergeant Small, Dawn Harvey, who had earlier sexually harassed her. She also kills a few dozen soldiers armed with high-powered automatic weapons, and she just has a handgun.
Yeah.
Like she's just popping them off left and right.
Because apparently hanging out with Tank Girl long enough and then wearing clear pants is enough to bolster your self-esteem so you become a killing machine.
Got it. Kesley reveals that Sam is in the pipe, her life endangered by rising water. Tank Girl kills Kesley, then pulls Sam out of the pipe. The film ends with an animated sequence showing water starting to flow freely. Tank Girl drives down the rapids, pulling Booga, that's the Ripper, the dog one, behind on water skis, then takes them over a waterfall, shouting for joy, much like I was that this movie was fucking over.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Oh my God, the joy. And that is our movie. Now, as of this recording, our poll on YouTube, if you subscribe to us on YouTube, we usually put polls up. Here's a poll for Tank Girl. As of today, 18% said buy it because girl power. 0% said rent it for 90s comic goodness. Stream it, Ice-T as a kangaroo, 9%. 73% said skip it. All of the above and more. So buy it, 18, 0 for rent it, 9% for stream it, and 73% of the people polled said skip it.
I mean, valid. Ice-T as a kangaroo is worth it
Yeah.
to stream it, like 100%. Because you can pick out which kangaroo is Ice-T.
Oh yeah.
100.
Easy.
Yeah, you're like Ice-T right there. He's got the same mean mug in real life. It's amazing. I want to say I'm surprised that the number's so high
For Skip It?
for Skip It. Like, I'm surprised it's at 7. I knew it would be the top choice, but I didn't think it would be that high.
Yeah, it was pretty high.
Yeah, it's
All
really
right.
high.
Yeah. So what is your score?
I'd like to preface this before I tell you my score by saying this movie had all the potential. It had the elements it needed to be an absolutely stunning, classic female-led movie. Tank Girl could have been the superhero every teenage girl and up and younger could look up to. Instead, they gave us this drivel. I'm mad that I'm like, I really like the kangaroos. That's probably one of the best parts of the movie. Malcolm McDowell, such a talented actor, and even he can make his ridiculous villain feel real and a little threatening, and I appreciate him for that. Naomi Watts was fine. Lori Petty, I don't know if it was an acting choice or a director's choice, but I feel like this was not a character that made sense for what is happening in the movie. However she was portrayed, I feel like it didn't jive with what the story was what the story that was trying to be told. At least I'm assuming that's the story that was trying to be told. Who the fuck knows? Because this is really shitty writing. Also, this is not feminism. This is bubblegum pop feminism from the 90s. Where all you had to say was, woo, girl power, you can wear your skirt as short as you want. Feminism, woo, women supporting women. I'm like, this is Jesus fucking H. Christ. And don't get me wrong, that's a good foundation for beginner feminism for the 10 and unders.
Yeah.
This is an adult movie. This is not for children. It's rated R, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
Like, come on. So I'm gonna say skip it. Also, because I was fucking falling asleep watching this. I had to struggle to wait. I paused this motherfucker to make a cup of coffee, and even still, nothing was helping. I was snacking, trying to stay awake. Nah, couldn't do it. So skip this movie. Skip it.
Well, I just asked Google to give me some 90s feminist movies.
Yeah.
Tank Girl's not on there.
Thank God.
Thelma and Louise, Clueless, The Crab,
Yes.
Little Women, A League of Their Own, Two on
Yep.
Food. Would that be a feminist movie?
Yes.
Okay. G.I. Jane,
Yep.
Serial Mom. Yeah.
Yep. Because I'll tell you about Tu Wong Fu. Tu Wong Fu talks about the nature of being a woman and what constitutes a woman and what is womanhood, which is something you need to understand in order to understand feminism. Because, let's get super soapboxy here, the patriarchy is responsible for a lot of the definitions of what a woman is and what it means to be a woman. So basically, it's just a bunch of men telling women the only way you can have value in society is by conforming to these rules. And if you're outside of that, you need to conform. Otherwise, you're going to be not punished, but
Ostracized?
kind of ostracized or pulled apart from the collective.
Outside looking in.
You're not going to have support.
Right.
Yeah. So anyways, that was my minimal soapbox rant about
Right.
feminism. But Tu Wong Fu is a great feminism movie.
Right. All hail the patriarchy.
Yeah, fuck the patriarchy. Burn
Actually,
that shit to the ground.
I remember
yo.
sitting down going, Tu Wong Fu, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this. This is weird. Not because they were just that can't be funny. I actually like Tu Wong Fu. Yeah, that was a great movie.
I loved Tu Wong Fu.
Yeah, it was funny. I liked it. I mean, Wesley Snipes, John Leguizamo, and of
Yeah.
course our favorite, who we probably
Patrick
watch more
Swayze.
movies than anybody. It's Patrick Swayze.
You should have Tu Wong Fu.
You should. All right, my score. So you got to skip it. My score.
Yep.
Okay. How can I say this without sounding PC incorrect? Forgot to pay their brain bill. No grain in the silo. the Slinky has a kink in it. I don't know. All foam, no beer.
Oh,
One fruit.
no beer.
One taco short of a combination plate. I don't know. This was horrible. They tried to go surfing in Nebraska. Yeah, it sucked. If this movie kept, the silliness, tightened the action slightly, but still kept it ludicrous and aimed for a PG-13, it might have made more money. I still wouldn't have liked it, but it might have made some money. This movie had an identity crisis. This movie had a writing crisis. This movie had a directing crisis. And director Rachel Talalay isn't a bad director. She directed Freddy's Dead, Final Nightmare, and Ghost in the Machine. Oh, wait, maybe she is a bad director. Actually, if you look at her IMDb, she found her stride in a ton of TV. Good TV, too. But something tells me that this was either heavily edited in the editing room or pre-production, and it's too bad. The look was fine. There was too many comic book strips. Comic book strip sequences could have been killed, dialed back a bit. The goofy effects of the jet and the kangaroos, it had really good actors. Like Malcolm McDowell brought his villain. This could have been a cool comic book movie, and if it had been done right, it could have been a franchise.
100%.
But the editing story was atrocious. The tempo was goofy. This didn't feel like an R-rated movie, and in the end, nothing really worked. Like nothing, just odd set pieces and head-scratching storylines. The pedophile thing, the music number, the sub-girl, the evil plots, and it made Dr. Claw and his mad agents from Inspector Gadget look more competent. In the end, this is a movie that they made, what we just watched, and because of that, I say skip it, because this movie sucked rhinoceros balls. Seriously, the wheel is spinning, but the hamster is dead. That's Tank Girl.
I mean, accurate. And I think that's what makes me so mad about this. Because they sold it to us as like this but I was like, this is not Tank Girl in this movie. I'm not sure about the comics. I mean, I would love to hear from someone who read the comics. But in this movie, Tank Girl does not have a mission.
No.
Tank Girl is literally just rolling with the flow, and she does not give a flying fuck. And I can understand being irreverent and cracking jokes and one-liners and being kind of a smartass with a mission. You have no mission. You're literally just going wherever you get thrown.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I think that's why I had such an issue with the movie. And then I think that's why I doubled down on the whole this is not a feminist movie, because she just showed up wherever the men threw her.
Yeah.
And dealt with it. And I was like, girl, take a step. Do something, like initiate.
Yeah, which is too bad, because this could have been Harley Quinn before Harley Quinn even existed. Not the Harley Quinn with the Joker, the Harley Quinn that leaves the Joker.
This is like the Dollarama version of Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, because I love Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing.
All right. Was there anything else you would like to add to Tank Girl? Because we talked about a lot of other movies.
Right? No. However, we should totally list every movie that we said. We should totally watch that and put them on our list to watch.
I'll definitely write those down.
Yes, please do. Please do. Because I'm like, we're going through a lot of really great movies. And I or at least what I remember were great movies.
Yeah.
And I need a palate cleanser after this.
All right. Well, then thank you for going back to 1995 and taking a look at Tank Girl. And we apologize if we had anything to do with you actually going to watch Tank Girl. So with that, until the next movie we remember liking.
Congratulations. You just had one of your childhood movie memories vindicated. Or they just eviscerated it. I don't know. This is a generic one-size-fits-all type of ending to the podcast. So thank you for listening, and please join Anna and Jimmy next time for another episode of the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. if you dare to go back and watch that movie you remember liking.